സെക്രട്ടേറിയറ്റിന് മുകളിലെ ദേശീയ പതാകയ്ക്കൊപ്പം ഐക്യരാഷ്ട്രസഭയുടെ പതാകയും ഉയർന്നു പറക്കും.
United Nations Day is celebrated on October 24 every year, marks the official establishment of the United Nations in 1945. On this day, the UN Charter was ratified by the majority of signatories, including the 5 permanent members of the Security Council, and this led to the official establishment of UN. The day was first celebrated in 1948. The UN in 1971 also recommended the member states to observe it as a public holiday. So we must build on the work that has been done with the support of member states, the youth and the civil society, but this cannot be an initiative by the old people discussing the younger generation. The United Nations must empower the young people, increase their participation in society and their access to education, training and jobs. So I'm concluding my words by saying that I'm deeply convinced that there is no other way to deal with the global challenges than the global responses.
The United Nations is an intergovernmental organization aiming to maintain international peace and security, develop friendly relations among nations, achieve international relation, and be a center for harmonizing the action of nations. It is the world's largest and most familiar international organization. United Nations Day on 24 October marks the anniversary of the day in 1945, when the UN Charter entered into force. UN Day, celebrated every year, offers the opportunity to amplify our common agenda and reform the purposes and principles of UN Charter that have guided us for the past 76 years, usually held in General Assembly Hall of Organization at headquarters in New York. A concert is held to mark UN Day as the world begins gradually to recover from the COVID pandemic, a call to strengthen international cooperation in the interest of both nations and people for a more peaceful and prosperous future for all.
Let us go through the Secretary General's message from 2021. 76 years ago, the United Nations was created as a vehicle of hope for a world emerging from the shadow of catastrophic conflict. Today, the women and men of the UN carry this hope forward around the globe. COVID-19, conflicts, hunger, poverty, and the climate emergency remind us that our world is far from perfect. But they also make clear that solidarity is the only way forward. We need to come together to tackle great challenges and advance the sustainable development goals. By ensuring that every person, everywhere has access to COVID-19 vaccines sooner rather than later. By securing and upholding the rights and dignity of all people, especially the poorest and mostly disadvantaged, girls and women and children and young people. By seeking an end to the conflicts that scar our world, by making bold climate commitments to save our planet and living up to them, and by building global governance that is more inclusive, networked, and effective, as detailed in my recent report, Our Common Agenda. The values that have powered the UN Charter for the last 76 years, peace, development, human rights, and opportunity for all, have no expiry date. As we mark UN Day, let's unite behind these ideals and live up to the full promise, potential, and hope of the United Nations.